Good afternoon. It's June 12th, 2020. My name is Patrick Walsh. I'm a lawyer, but I coach a lot of baseball. So I came to the Marathon Community Park today, since I'm in Marathon, Florida, to do some baseball videos, some instructional videos for my players. Right now at this stage of my coaching career, I coach little guys. None of my children are on the team. I coach kids from 8 to 12 years old, sometimes younger, sometimes older. I coach with a couple of guys in the Western Springs Crush organization. Norm Freeze, Rob Cavallari, Tom Pingle, Tim Evitz, a few other guys, Coach Corey. But none of us have children on the team. We coach little guys and we try to teach them fundamentals. We coach old school. And I thought, since I was here and I had some time before fishing, that I would spend some time talking about some basic baseball fundamentals and start a series of videos, more so with pitchers, but baseball in general. So I don't know if you can tell here, but the Marathon Community Park is a beautiful field. We were supposed to be here in the spring, but COVID hit and all my players canceled that were signed up. We had these fields reserved for all day. We're really excited to have the boys out here for spring break to work on baseball, work on fundamentals. But unfortunately, plans changed with this pandemic, COVID, Corona, whatever you call it, and baseball's been thrown off this summer. So we're going to talk a little bit about baseball in these series of videos. The whole purpose of our organization is to give kids fundamentals, good fundamentals. Play catch correctly, go on the field correctly, wear your hat the right way, run on and off the field, look like a player, come ready. Think about what you want to do as a baseball player. Baseball is a game, but there's some lessons we can learn in life from baseball. So without too much talk about minutia, just background wise, I was a baseball player ever since I can remember. I grew up in Riverdale, Illinois. I played baseball at the Dalton Riverdale Little League. We had a lot of dads that loved the game and wanted to help us kids, but nobody really taught us the fundamentals. We would have to watch television to watch the White Sox or the Cubs and watch some of the teams they played. The White Sox reception on TV was awful, so we watched the Cubs. We would watch guys in the 70s and the 80s, and we would try to emulate what those players did. As I got older, I played high school baseball at Mount Carmel High School in Chicago. I was always a shortstop as a young player. And then because we used the kids who could throw more accurately as pitchers, when I became a junior in high school, that's the only position they let me play. I would recommend young players not to get pigeonholed like that, but I became a pitcher in high school. I went on and I played in college at Indiana University for Bob Morgan. I played with some great players, a lot of players way better than me. Mickey Morandini, Johnny Wayner was on that team. There were a lot of great players. I mean, some guys who deserved to go farther but didn't. But I learned a lot playing with my teammates at Indiana University. And occasionally I'll still consult with them, if an issue comes up. But I also played for an organization called the Midlothian White Sox. I can't begin to tell you how much I learned from those teammates that I had. A few guys stand out. Paulie Stevens, who went on to coach at Northwestern for probably 27 years. Wink Cole. There's just a ton of really good players in that organization that I learned from. Howie Minus, Tommy Powers played there, one of my Mount Carmel high school alumni guys. Tommy's a few years younger, but he probably loves the game as much as anybody. But we learned a lot over the years of baseball, and since I stopped playing, I had to go to law school to get a job, but I've always coached. I've coached high school kids, I've coached some college kids, I've done pitching lessons forever. I've coached in Cooperstown, I've coached major elite. I had the best team in Illinois, which obviously wouldn't compare to the best team in California or Florida. But we had some really nice baseball players who went on to play Division I, Division III. We had some Division III players who should have been Division I players and vice versa. But it was as a culmination of all these years of coaching and being in baseball and loving the game. I wanted to put some of these videos together so that young players can kind of benefit from what I've learned. There's a lot of other guys out here who coach baseball, and I learn all the time from other coaches, other players. I've learned so much by watching other teams and other good coaches and the nuances you pick up from just being a baseball player. So I'll show you some of what I know. I don't know everything. I'm still learning. But there are some things that you can do as a baseball player to be better. You can't play this game unless your throwing mechanics are good. You need to learn how to hit. You need to learn how to field. You need to learn how to run. You have to be knowledgeable about the game. You have to know defensive positioning. You have to know what to do as a pitcher when the ball is hit and you don't have the ball. Where are you going to go back up? You have to know the players. You have to know your situations. You have to know what to throw on a 0-2 count to a good fastball hitter. Baseball is a thinking man's game. In baseball, I think your skills come from cumulative knowledge. You learn little nuances, just like in the game of hockey. If we watch hockey, we just see guys going fast, but hockey is one of the most complex sports I've ever watched. I love that game, but it took me years and years to get a better understanding of why good players do what they do, how they anticipate plays. One of my favorite baseball players is a young man I coached, Gino Cavallari, and he wasn't a guy who broke records in the 60-yard dash. He had a great arm, but he wasn't throwing 97 miles an hour. He was a wonderful fielder, but he just made it look easy because I think God gave that kid the gift of anticipation and knowledge of the game that made him better than what he might look like on paper. So there's a lot of examples I might go over through these series of talks and videos with players. I might mention some of these guys' names who I grew to love and admire as baseball players. But I'm going to start out with some fundamentals. I wanted to go on the field today here in Marathon, but they locked it up. So the field's all locked up. I got birds yelling at me. Just hope they don't drop any presents on my head while I talk to you. So that's it for my introduction. I hope you guys, if you watch this series, learn something or maybe pull a few things out of it. Love this game. It's a great game. It's a great game to carry on with you for the rest of your life as a fan, as a parent, as an uncle, as a grandfather, or as a coach like my friends who I coach with. We don't have children on the team, but we love watching these kids play, watching them compete, watching them learn, watching them go through the process of winning and losing and not getting too high, not getting too low. So with that being said, future videos, I'll try to break it down by position or issues. But thanks for giving me this opportunity to share what I've learned from a game I love.